Have you watched The Haunting of Bly Manor? It's on Netflix and came out pretty recently, and it's pretty good. It was made by the people who did The Haunting of Hill House as well, and if you've watched that, well, you might enjoy the sequel-ish sort of thing. After finishing both seasons, I wanted more, but I couldn't make a TV series on my own, it was just me. So what could I do? Well, I can make a board game. And that's what this is. I'm making a board game. I'm making a board game based on The Haunting of Bly Manor. If I am going to make a board game, I probably should have a basis for what I'm going for. So let's try and figure out what makes Bly Manor Bly Manor. There's a large house with a range of rooms, there's an array of interesting characters, and also death. So what board game does that remind me, and maybe you, of? Cluedo. So that's what I'm doing. I'm turning The Haunting of Bly Manor into Cluedo. So how do I go about doing this? What's the first thing I should try and do? Well, I think it's the board. So here we have our board. It's a good board. This is a good way to start as a play map, draw on top of it. But next we need to actually start putting the locations on the board, because it's great in theory, but we need to actually see how it works in reality, because reality is real. Yeah, so here's the layout. At the top left are the bedrooms. Obviously you can't really tell that they're too bedroomy yet because there's not much detail. This is just the layout. Next is the hallway in the middle, because that's the central part of the house, and I feel like that should be relatively central to the plan. Over here we've got the closed quarter in the attic. I thought maybe put them over there, that makes sense. And down here we've got the kitchen and the dining room, because they're kind of focal parts of the TV series too. In the middle is the driveway, you know, that big thing with the gravel and the big, you know, with the cars, and where driveways. It's a driveway. That's the driveway in the middle. Over here is the green room where the gardener lives. Down here is the well. That's the church and the graveyard just there. Yeah. And down the bottom right is the lake and the campfire, and I've smushed them together because I have. Okay, I just have. So there. Suck it. Now this is obviously before any decorations really put on it. I'm going to put some level of, you know, flavour, you know, some nice sugar. Let's put some sugar on it. Oh yeah. Pour some sugar on the map. Yep. For all the decorations, I'm going to send it off to someone who can actually paint. They can draw and, oh wow, make it a real pretty board instead of just black and white. But all this talk of rooms makes me think, why just stick to all presenting in this one room? Let's find a new place to do this and sort of like mix it up. Let's find new locations. Yeah! So Cluedo, it has lots of interesting characters. There's Mrs. Peacock and Colonel Mustard. Oh, look at that mustache. That's a sexy mustache. But you know who has a sexier mustache? Oh, the cook in the Raoul Coley's character in Bly Manor. So let's start getting those characters, right? Basically, I thought it'd be better just to have like the silhouettes of them, because I thought it'd be more stylistic. I've turned Owen, who is the cook, the sexy man, the Raoul Coley, Mr. Hot Hot Hot, who everyone in the town loves. He looks like this. This is what he looks like now. I know I've gotten rid of his face, but that's part of the design because I thought it'd be fun. Miss Jessel, who is the old au pair before, you know, Danny was brought in, so she's called the ex-employee. That's her name. She always got Mrs. Gross as well, who's the housekeeper. So I've got her, and you know what I've called her? I've called her the housekeeper because that's what she does. You know, are you starting to pick up on the trends here? Next we've got Jamie. I wonder what she does. She's a gardener, so I've called her the gardener. Ha! And I've highlighted her dungarees because that's what I did. Deal with it. So then I've got Danny, who's the lead, and I don't know why she's halfway down this list. It was just the list of which I've holding the card, so that's just chance. But she's the au pair, so I've called her the au pair. So then we got Peter, bit of an iffy character, but he's stylistic, so let's put him in. He's here too as the associate, you know. Then we have Henry Wingrave, who you find out at one point he's a barrister, so he's the barrister. And finally, we've got the children because, and I'm calling them the children because they're both children and they're children because that's, yeah. But you know what? As I was going through all this, I realised that I feel like we're missing something. I realised it doesn't have any ghosts. So, do you know what we need? We need ghosts. So, that's what we're going to do. We're going to put ghosts in. So the question is, how do we put ghosts in Cluedo? It's actually not that difficult. You'll have a ghost walking around the map, which can kill you, which is obviously not very good, and you don't want to die. The ghost works like a sentinel, just walking around the map and killing anyone who gets in their way. But as a ghost, you can still play the game. You can possess people. You can still win. Your life's been taken from you, so you'll need to take someone else's life now. It adds a little bit of fear and difficulty, and makes the game a little bit more intense, which is nice. So that's what I think we should do. Do you see? So now we are adding the ghosts, we might as well get the ghost characters done. We might as well make some cards for the ghost characters. So we have ghosts. To start off, we should probably have the main ghost from Bly Manor, because I mean, like, it's the main ghost. The way she kills people is the way the ghost works in the game, the way I've made the ghost work. So yeah, she's important. The next ghost is the one which is haunting Danny through most of it, you know? Her ex-boyfriend, the one with the shiny, shiny eyes. Well, that's why I gave him shiny, shiny eyes, and I've called them Bright Eyes. Those are the main ghosts in Bly Manor. There are other ones, so that's what we're starting off with next, and that's what I'm going for next is the Plague Doctor. It's like quite a unique sort of look, so I thought that's quite a cool thing to have in, so I'll put that into the Plague Doctor. But at this point, we're kind of finding all the ghosts who are kind of a little bit minor characters. And the ghosts in Hill House, they're really iconic. Some of them are really iconic, and I haven't put them in. So why not just put the ghosts from Hill House in? So let's start off with Poppy Hill, or as I've called her, Roaring, because her design is very Roaring 20s in my opinion. Next we have one of the other main ghosts, who is the mum of the Crane family, who I'm calling Siren. I mean, she sort of attracts people towards her and then sort of ends up kind of killing them. Next we've got the really tall guy with the bowler hat and the cane. I was going to put a cane in the design, but unfortunately, if you look at the way the silhouette works, having the cane in makes it look a little, well, it looks like he's weeing. So yeah, I'm not doing that. And finally, I think the bent neck lady, because the bent neck lady is sort of, well, she takes part in a lot of Hill House. She's one of the first ones who spooks. She does the spooks. She does a lot of spooks. Oh, come on. 1 second. Yeah, what is it? Your haunt? What? A dark head? What? Can you just get it finished? So next we have the way which people kill one another. There's ways that death happens in the show. I mean, it's a horror TV show. What do you expect? It's scary. What are the ways which people die? Well, first of all, there's the way which Viola kills everyone, which is kind of like a snap neck strangle sort of thing. So that's why I'm putting up the strangle cards. Getting strangles quite common in Bly Manor. So yeah, that's what we've got that strangled. Then people, there's a lake in the horror TV show, and you know when there's a lake in any horror TV show, someone's gonna get dunked, someone's gonna drown in that lake. So drowned is obviously one of them. Look, drowned has been made. Next it's falling, because one of the characters dies falling from a height. So falling, that's what I put. I could have put gravity, could have called it gravity, but I've just called it falling. And you know what? Weirdly, for a horror TV show, there's not actually that many methods of people dying. You know where we can go for more? Like the last section, we can look at, well, Hill House. So I decided to go for poison. poison, because in Hill House there's poison. Poison is good. So poison. I mean, it's not good, but poison. Then we've got a character who sort of gets hanged. So hanged. Next, and the final one we've got is drugged, because there's things with drugs in Hill House, and that's not good. What is that? I'll be back. What is that noise? Don't know what that was, but just get on with it. Seeing as we're adding lots more Hill House things in it, I thought maybe, why not, let's just add the Hill House characters. So you have basically the main character, who's the writer, the person who writes. Yep, he's got a book. Books are good, books are great. Then you've got the psychologist. Ooh, she's got things over her hands. She's got gloves. Gloves are what things are. You know what gloves are? You've probably heard of those. And that's because she has special touchy powers. Next we have the mortician, because she's a mortician. We have the addict. Oh, he's addicted, and there's a whole thing about him and drugs. Next is the tortured one, who's Nell Crane. And because I tried looking up what her job is, she doesn't really have one. They don't really go into that, but I guess there isn't any need, but they don't really go into that. She just gets married at a point. Then we've got the dad of the group, who I've called the fixer. Then we've got the caretaker being Mrs. I've forgotten the name, but the caretaker, and the helper, because he's also a caretaker, but we didn't want to have this two of the same name, so he's a helper because he helps, because that's kind of what he does. What? I'm not crazy, I did see that. Now I was planning to have a bit where I talk about making the Hill House like I did with the map of Bly Manor, but I might not. Oh, my artist, she was saying something along this sort of lines. That she was being, I'll go speak to her. May? May? Oh God. Are you the one who's been following me? Who are you? Phil Schofield. What are you doing here? You cheeky nitwit. You almost got me there. Whew. So here we have it, the final completed board game. It's a completed map. It looks good. I think it looks really fantastic. Very good job with all the painting and everything. It looks delightful. I coined the game Cursed Cluedo because, well, it's like Cluedo but a little bit different. I hope you enjoyed the video. Let's just hold that there. There'll be more details of how you play the game underneath, and so if you are interested in how you actually play it, I'll leave that below with all the characters and the weapons and the